Thank you very much for a great introduction. I'm really excited to be here and to be able to tell you something about my story and about customer success management and what it is, and maybe touch on some other professions that are not necessarily coding. So, because we just came back from a great lunch, I would like to engage you in a very short exercise, if you will allow. So, please, everyone who are interested in IT, who has studied IT or maybe have some IT hobbies, please stand up. If you maybe created a website ever, or you created an application, or you work in marketing, anything related to IT. Oh. That's quite a lot, but not everyone. That's cool. Now, keep standing, keep standing, keep standing. It's not all. There will be two more questions. The second one is, if you are a programmer or you want to become a programmer, or if you ever wanted to become a programmer, sit down. Yeah, there are a few people. Cool, cool. These are the lucky ones, those who picked the career and knew they are going to program. And the last one, those of you who have a passion, who know what you are going to do, who have a career, those of you sit down. Okay, so those of you still standing, and there are some people, I would say you are like me, finding what you want to do, what you are good at, and never knowing what comes next. Yeah? So you are not alone. That was my message. You may sit down. Thank you very much. And by telling you my story, I would like to show you that it's totally okay not to know your passion at the beginning, because we are always told, follow your passion, do what you want to do, and be enthusiastic. But sometimes you just don't know. And it might be maybe strange to think about it, and you might fear what's going to come. So let me begin with my story, how I came to this profession. When I was little, my parents were always interested in new technology. We always had computers at home. I remember black and white monitors and DOS operating systems and so on. So I was always curious about new technology. But maybe, as some of you also experienced, I had just a period of time where I just played computer games and didn't do anything useful, anything really that mattered, because obviously I didn't know what I want to do with it. But my curiosity about IT and about the software world stayed, so I decided to go to college, to the Faculty of Informatics here in Brno. I tried some programming courses like Java, Advanced Java, and C++ and so on. But soon I quite realized that I'm not going to be a programmer. I didn't have the problem-solving mind, as you can say. I just wasn't good at remembering the code, the syntax, and so on. So far, I can just copy the code and not write the code, you know. So I realized this, and I was looking for some other jobs, and I found Scrum Mastery. You will hear more about Scrum Masters later today in this session, in this track. So I will just briefly say what was interesting for me. It was that you don't need to be a coder, you don't need to code, but you must know something about software industry, you must know something about development, you must study what it means, how the methodologies work, and so on. But you also need some soft skills. You need to know how to lead people, how to manage people, and that was quite something I knew I wasn't good at, because Faculty of Informatics doesn't teach you much soft skills. So that was kind of a dead end. I will give you maybe one example from my company called Kentico, where I work. The Scrum Masters at the moment are managing a change in the development department. Right now, I have a colleague here, Scrum Master, so she knows she's facilitating the change. And the change means that in the past, we had large software teams. They were about 8 or 10 people, but we realized that's not fast enough, agile enough, adaptive enough. So we are now changing the teams to much smaller teams, about 3 or 4 people. It's a huge change across the whole development. So if you are a Scrum Master, you need to help the people to adopt the change. Yeah, you need to help them get on with it, get over it, and start bringing the results. So that's quite challenging. So I thought, yeah, maybe that's not actually for me. But then guys from Kentico came to my school, to Faculty of Informatics, and showed me technical writing. What is technical writing? It might sound boring, really, that you're just writing some documentation and you write text and describe the software and so on. But these days, you don't just describe software, because software is user-friendly and it has great UX, so you don't need to describe it. But you need to find interesting and useful scenarios that will help the customers and help the people do what they need to do, not just what they can do in the software, but do what they came for, why they buy the software. And also, you are not writing just for the end users, where you might describe how to create a new user in the software, but you're also writing for developers. In Kentico, for example, we created scenarios, complex scenarios, on how to deploy your project in Visual Studio to Microsoft Azure, which is quite complex. You need to know the code, you need to be able to read the code and try out the solution yourself, if it actually works. You draft some scenario and then you need to try out, find out if it really works. Yeah, so it's quite challenging and variable work. I was doing it for 3 years, and at the beginning, I thought, yeah, this is great for me. I don't have to work with people much. I can just, just sit at my desk and ask what I need to do, work with the software, and not really interact with other people. That was fine. But after those 3 years, I actually started missing this fact. I was curious about the customers. What they think? Are they using the documentation? Do they need it? Is it helpful? So I was more curious about the human touch. And there came customer success management, because my boss was just creating this job opportunity in our company. So I thought, yeah, this is a good chance. So what is a customer success management? Raise your hands who has ever heard about customer success management. Okay, my colleagues and a few other people. So I can see that it's still quite unknown job. But let me tell you that this job is going to increase in volume, in popularity, and so on, because this job popped up when software being sold as a subscription, not as a box. You know, in the past we bought Windows as one software, and then we had the license forever. But now you rather buy subscription. You pay monthly for Spotify or whatever. You can pay for Photoshop to use a few months, and then you can stop paying and then just not use it anymore. But this is difficult for the software vendors, because then the customer might leave any time. They can stop paying. And what then? You lose money, you lose the business. And it's not enough to just have support and solve customers' problems, because when the customers have problems, they are already 1 foot in the door. They are already leaving. They lose trust in you. So customer success managers try to prevent these problems. They think about the possible issues the customers might have. They know the software through and through. They know what's possible with it, what's not possible, where are the limitations. And so by talking to the customers, they realize what they want to do, and they can prevent any things that might happen and to endanger the relationship. What we mostly do is we train the customers on how to use the software. We meet with them, we call them, we visit them sometimes in their offices. Every day is different. It's a very variable job. One day you prepare some presentations for a call, another day you go for a whole day visit somewhere. So sometimes when I'm hiring people, they always ask, what's the typical day? And I say, well, I will describe a typical week or month because there's no typical day. And I maybe give you one example about what we achieved with our customers. Our customers were using our software, and they were quite good with it. They just to circle back a bit, Kentico creates a tool which allows you to build websites and manage websites. So somebody takes Kentico and creates a website, and then there are other people who work with the website and write articles, add stories, add news, and so on. So there are two types of people: the developers who develop the website, and the users who create articles and actually manage the websites. Yeah, so this customer was all right with building the website. They had great IT team, great developers, so they built the website. It was cool. But then it was a huge company, and they had multiple teams of people who were going to work with the software and who were going to manage the software, the website, not the software, the website. But these were not programmers. These were just copywriters and translators and just people sitting at a computer and doing this stuff. So they needed to train these people to work with the software. Yeah? So what we did, we visited this customer and helped them create a great training for these people, for their teams, and help them adopt the program at this company. If we didn't do that, the people might be unhappy, might have problems with using it, and continuously it might mean that they would lose interest in the software and they might leave, just stop paying and use another software. So this is what happens, what we do, how we prevent the problems. After working in this job, I was quite happy, but I realized I wanted to do more. I wanted to have more impact and wanted to work even more closely with the people. So I became a leader of the team. Is it working? No? Leader. I became a team leader. And I'm now leading a team of 5 people at Kentico, 5 customer success managers. I have 2 people in the USA, 3 people here in Brno, and we are a really good team. Now, what is the most important thing a team leader does? Of course, you have many responsibilities, you do many things, but what is one of the most important things you do? You build great teams. That's your main responsibility. Yeah? And let me tell you one thing. We women are great for this. This is really something we can do. We can have these skills and lead the people, help them cooperate, help find great talents and develop them. And by doing this, these people will themselves bring great results to the company. So I think you shouldn't worry about these challenges. This is something we can bring to the software companies, to this man world. Yeah? If we lead people, if we help them cooperate, it's something very useful what we can do. I want to leave not just with a story, but with some advice for you. So, so my advice for those of you who don't know about your path, what you want to do in your life, or things you don't know if you want to be a programmer and what you want to do. I would say first, always have hope. If you don't have the passion, doesn't matter. It will come. Always try to look for it. Never stop looking for it. It might come when you're 30, like me, because I realized I really like being a leader and leading people and bringing them together. So you might realize it at 30, at 10, at 15, at 60. Yeah, so never stop looking for it. Always learn new things and always be open to opportunities. when I was studying, Kentico people just came to the faculty and introduced some jobs, and it was quite interesting, so I joined, and look where I'm now. So always be open to different challenges, different opportunities. Second, go for it. Don't be afraid. You know, we all have our fears. We always think, oh, I'm not good enough. This job is too difficult. I shouldn't take it. I can't take it. When I decided to be a leader, I came to my boss and told him, hey, I think I can do this. I want to be a leader. And, well, if I study and work hard, maybe in a year I can be a leader. And you know what? He laughed and told me, in 6 months you're going to be there. We are never ready. We never think that we are ready for a challenge, for a job, and for change, for career change, or anything. Yeah, so don't be afraid. Just take the challenge and work it out just after that. And the same goes for having children. We are all afraid. If I'm gonna have children, what happens to my career? What am I gonna do? Yeah, do I lose my career? How long am I gonna stay at home? And so on. Don't worry about that. Just, you know, let me tell you one thing. If you are going to have children, and once you are going to have children, you are going to be the first and the most important role model for them. So make sure you're a good damn role model. Whatever you do, whatever challenge you accept, whatever you decide to do, just be a good role model. And figure out the problems later. When they come, you know. I'm not sure if it's visible, but I have a baby on the way. And I am afraid. Of course I am. It's gonna be difficult. I don't know how long I'm gonna stay at home, if I'm gonna stay, if my husband will stay at home, who knows? How soon I'm gonna get back, what happens to my career, what happens to my team I built. I don't know. But it's a challenge. And you work out the challenge. And you know, if you are smart enough to work in IT, you are smart enough to figure out having a career and a baby at the same time. It can't be that hard. Yeah, so solve the challenges when they come. Don't leave the opportunities. Bring out your strengths. That means don't just try to fit in. If you come to a team of developers, to a team of men developers, don't just try to be the same. Bring your personality, bring your emotions, your fears, your whatever. Bring yourself, because that's the power of diversity. You are different, and bring the difference to the team. Enrich them. That's the right thing. Enrich them. Yeah, they might not realize it at the beginning, but it will make their lives better. And the last one, last but not least, probably the most important in anyone's careers, and even more important in women's careers. Surround yourselves with good people who will believe in you, who will trust you, who will support you and let you grow. Don't just pick a company that will pay the most. Don't pick the first job that comes. Pick the right company with the right culture, where your skills will be able to expand, where you will be able to choose your own path, your career, and where you will be able to be yourself. Because that's really important. Not trying to fit into the man's world, but being ourselves. Because only then you are going to shine. If you are yourself, you bring out your strengths, your contribution to the groups, to the company. That's the place where you want to be. Thank you. That's all.
Wow. Amazing. Wow, I mean, first of all, congratulations
Thank
to your
you.
baby. We're looking forward to seeing you next year with the real one. And just amazing energy, and wow, I mean, this is the inspirational stage, or the talks, and I think you fit right in. I mean, that was amazing. We have one question. If anyone wants to ask more questions, do use the app. Is there a community around customer success management?
I think in Czech Republic there isn't. We will try to change it, of course. But here it's quite slow. The world community is quite big. Customer success management is most popular in Silicon Valley, in the United States. They have a great conference specializing for customer success management. It's actually next week happening in San Francisco or somewhere there. It's also happening in United Kingdom, in Great Britain. That's usually in November, so it will happen this November. But the presence in Czech Republic is really, really low. And for example, when I'm hiring customer success managers, I can never find a customer success manager. I always find maybe trainers or support engineers or account managers. That's the professions who become customer success managers.
Awesome. A question here from Maria. Did you or do you have a mentor? Or was there someone who gave you some really, really good advice that helped you in your way?
Yes. That's my boss. It's the most amazing person. He actually established customer success management at Kentico. And he's always been my mentor, and he taught me a lot of things. And he always supported me in my journey, in my path. And when I became the leader, I actually took his job and told him to do something better. And that is a more important person in my career.
Nice. I'm sure he'd like to hear that. Okay, one question from Vladimira. What skills do I need to become a customer success manager?
Yeah, that's a tricky question. We don't actually have any hard skill set. You need to know software development, how the software is developed, and something about technology. For example, with Kentico Cloud, you need to know how websites are created. But it might be different with different companies, with different products. So that's one thing. And then you need a lot of soft skills. You need to be good at talking to people, explaining things, understanding complex topics, because you need to understand the product through and through to be able to teach it to the customers. And you just need to be good at people. You need to know English very well, because you are going to speak with foreigners, with native speakers, with people from Pakistan or whatever. So that's also very important. And also you need to be proactive and try to move the profession forward. You know, in my company, we don't have any rules. We don't have many processes. We just build the profession as we go. So it's also important to be enthusiastic about it, to learn, always learn new things, and build the job together.
Nice. Sounds great. Okay. Thank you, Jani, so much.
Thank you too. Thank you for having me.
One more round of applause, please, for Jana. Thank you.
Thanks.